Hello everyone, it's John from Brisbane, and just an update with regards to my Dungeons and Dragons group. So, as I think I've said before, we're playing... get rid of that bit of paper. Yes, we're playing... Oh God, now I've got glare going everywhere. Yes, we're playing in the world of Greyhawk. Yes, that's good. And, as I said, Ghost of Saltmarsh. Indeed. Well, the group has... I have the very good fortune of having two groups. I have my long-term group. Well, they've been playing longer than the newer group, but they've now both entered into Saltmarsh. And those who've been following me for a while will know that I like to write, and I chronicle a lot of what I do. And what I've done is that I've changed things a little bit now, and because people are in Saltmarsh, and under the 3.5 edition, sorry, got distracted. I've had to open up the blinds to let a little bit more light in. One of my neighbours has just walked by with her dog, so of course you can't see that, but I've just seen that. So look, honestly, I got Mickey Mouse Productions here, so you get me as I am. So you're probably going, geez, that man, he is an odd person. So, but hey, listen, you get me as I am, and I make no bones about it. But where was I? That's right, Saltmarsh. Wonderful place. And in the 3.5 edition, which they, once again, this, disappointingly enough, very bare bones for the town. You know, the 3.5, admittedly, bare bones again, but they gave a lot more information with the town of Saltmarsh than they've really given with this one. So, okay, so they've given you a lot more license, or they've given you license to add more stuff, which is, hey, excellent. I like that. And what I've done is that I really like a lot of things that are here in the 3.5, which is obviously, they've said, you know, it's set, I think about, I don't know, I can't remember what it is, several years, decade or something, after the events in New One. So, of course, I've just transferred a lot of that across. So I really like some of the places that were in there, like Anmar's Hall of Oddities and some other things. But I've created the newspaper, because in this edition there was the I think it was the Scrivener's Hall, and they had a poor old chap in here by the name of Abelard Larth. And it was his desire that he wanted to establish a weekly paper for Saltmarsh. Well, guess what? He got to do it in my version of Saltmarsh. And what I've done is that in my version of Saltmarsh, Abelard has got his newspaper running. And what I've done is that my primary group, they meet roughly every 3 weeks. My other group, they meet more regularly. They meet fortnightly. So what I've done is that I release a newspaper now, and I've included what's happening between each of the groups. So I throw bits and pieces of what's happening. So, for instance, with the and what happens in the town. So, for instance, the Blue Frog Brewery is in Saltmarsh. Now, it doesn't appear in this one, but it appeared in 3.5. And, of course, it's in there. And I've got, you know, Blue Frog Brewery. The I can't remember the gentleman's name. You know, he's looking for people to go into Hool Marshes, looking for people to pick his looking for the berries. And of course, you know, I'm setting the people up because, you know, I want them to go So the new group, who are the lower level characters, have gone and done the haunted house, but the more experienced party, well, they're up around about 5th level. So going in and doing the 1st level, there's no challenge. But I've made some changes, and so there's going to be some new excitement for them. And of course, I've set some things up, and of course, they're going, "Oh no, John, we're not really interested." Yeah, like all players, you as the game master, you've set up your idea, and you go, "Ha ha! I've prepared what I want you to do," and the players go, "Nah, we're not interested in what you've decided, John. We're going to go off in that direction, even though you want us to go in that one." And in the end, they just choose to go that way. And but as a good game master, you need to be flexible and go with, well, okay, so they've chosen not to do what you want. And that's what they did. They decided they were going to go off carousing, and this is the primary, the older group decided they were going to go off and do things. And this is what popped up in the newspaper. They went off and investigated this, the tavern, the Empty Net. And a part of the thing was that they killed this poor person who came out, who was part of whatever organisation anyway. They dumped his body in the harbour. But part of the process was that earlier in the day, one of the characters had nicked some flowers from a flower box. And in the newspaper, grieving widow's son pulled from harbour, brutally murdered. And, as a game master, I love to create stories and weave things. And, the groups have got their own little Facebook communication. And, of course, they've read the newspaper. And, of course, they're going, "Oh, no." The primary group are going, "Oh, this is dreadful. We've gone and upset the poor widow." And, because not only did we, brutally murder her son, we nicked the flowers from her garden box. And, so of course there's all sorts of things. And I don't know what happened on the day, but I had some fetish for goats. And so one of them said, "Oh, John, you've still got your fetish for goats." And I said, "Oh, but I only restricted it to 3 lines." So, because I said there's an oversupply of goats in Saltmarsh at the moment. Everyone was being offered a goat with part of their deal. I was in an odd mood. Don't ask me where goats came from, but goats, goats with your meal. Would you like goat meat with that? But look, honestly, don't ask me why. It was just something that came up. But that was what happened there. And then there was the business with a ring being offered to one of the other party members, and the 2 excisemen that was part of the rowboat being delivered to, they watched this exchange of the half-elf giving his orcish companion this ring of protection. And of course they saw it and they said, "Oh, isn't that lovely?" And of course it went back to town, and it was, half-elf exchanges love ring, and it's wedding bells on the horizon. And, and romance on the high sea was the headline in the newspaper, and it's part of storytelling and narrative. And I just love to embellish and make things not what they are. And the groups are loving it, and I must admit that I am very lucky in the fact that I have 2 groups, and the fact that they are loving this part of. There's another group as well in the same location, and they're both going, "Oh, can we meet the other group? Do we have the chance to meet the other group?" And they're going, "We're just missing each other," and I'm just having so much fun with regards to this. But anyway, that's where things stand. I'll keep you posted. There's links to my blog, so you can always go have a look at the newsletters. So again, look, thank you very much for listening to an old man blather. Till next time, signing off, the Honourable John.